And it's a little ironic because while we were in that story on the big board, they just showed Richard Sherman, who actually went and played for the San Francisco 49ers, and he was cheered on by this crowd. So maybe someday Russell Wilson is going to get that kind of reception, but not tonight, guys. It's going to be all booze here. Part of what makes Hoop Fest so cool every year is the sheer size of the tournament. You get tens of thousands of people coming to downtown Spokane, all levels of skill and age. But in the last 10 years or so, we've seen a steady decline in participation, not only in Hoop Fest, but basketball in general in this region. Washington State's always been able to play at the highest level of college sports. Part of the reason I went to Washington State was the ability to go watch major college football every Saturday in the fall. I got to see characters like Christian McCaffrey and Andrew Luck, Marcus Mariota. Now, that's just going to be gone after this year. They got the Titans, the Steelers, and the Cardinals left on the schedule, all winnable. They win out. Good chance they're going to be playing in the postseason. More than a decade ago, Joshua Anderson set the program record in the 400-meter hurdles, finishing in at under 48 seconds. Then C.J. Allen was an All-American, and he's actually currently ranked 5th in the world in that same event. The Washington State found themselves down 8 with less than 7 minutes to go, but these cardiac Cougs, they just refuse to quit and go home. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say this was the prettiest game the Cougs have ever played. It obviously wasn't. There was a lot of mistakes they made throughout the second half. Conference realignment, it's never done. Never be comfortable with where you stand right now. 2 new schools that are going to be joining the Mountain West on at least a temporary basis are Washington State and Oregon State. Do you predict that sooner than later those 2 schools are going to be in the same conference with Boise State on a permanent basis?
You know, I have a lot of empathy for those ADs.
This makes a lot of sense for the WCC.
Yeah, that's right, Jordan. It's a good rule of thumb by now not to assume conference realignment is ever done. But in this instance, it's actually good news for our local teams, as the West Coast Conference will be welcoming in both Seattle University and Grand Canyon starting in 2025. We just saw 2 #1 seeds get eliminated about an hour ago. Houston's out, Alabama's out, and all of a sudden you're looking at it and you're like, if they can beat UConn tomorrow, you never know how these things could shape up. I'm old enough to remember about a decade ago when the Pac-12 was aiming to get Texas and Oklahoma into the conference, and oh boy, does that feel like a missed opportunity right now to keep everyone together. The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances, guys, and I'm sure there are many sports grievances we have over the last year. Matt, I can't imagine you have any, being a Florida State fan. Yeah. Burrow and all the other furry ones inside the stadium are here for one reason and one reason only. No, not to steal a cheeseburger out of the hands of a child, but to see the first place Spokane Indians play. And like you said, this team is red hot.